Friends, hello, welcome back. It is November. It is time to talk more state of the market. We have a lot to talk about because we admittedly missed a little bit here on the X factors and the price of cards because we did not know how EA was going to do the master sets this year. They threw us the curveball, which made, those middle of the pack players worth a little bit more than what they are typically. And that's going to be the story of the season, I think, for a lot of the market, is how EA does these sets. They're a lot different now than they were last year. They're a lot different this week than they were last week. From a very basic standpoint, before we dive into that, since we're on the auction house here, we're still seeing, let's bring up the old gold players here. We're still seeing the old gold players right around, why can I not find the league button? It is right there. We're still seeing some under a K. Yeah. Still seeing some under a K, and we've still been selling them for a little bit more than a K. There's quite a few of them up right now. 900, 800, they're up for 750 for some of the below 80s. You can still pick up the 80 pluses for 900, 950 when there's packs out. And I still think you can sell those bad boys for around 1400, 1300 for the 78, 77s, because people are still doing the team building sets. And what's important to remember as well is that there are, your X Factor collect or power up collectible trade-in sets, 18 for the 80 pluses and 36 for the below that. So your 18, what is that, 1300 coins? You're still looking at 1300 coins is a good deal for people to buy the 80 pluses, 1300 coins. So I feel like there's a good floor there. You talk about 1,000, 1300, 300 coin spread. Plus, you're going to have people doing team building sets, so they're going to pay maybe a little bit more for stuff. And that's what we're seeing more out of the cards below an 80 overall right now. That's why we've been selling them more often, because the cards below an 80 overall are kind of sitting around, words we're looking for. They're not as common in packs. They're not as common in packs because a lot of the packs we're seeing are NHL players packs or 80 plus packs. So we're starting to see more of the 80 pluses kind of float out there. Not to mention more people are probably known to quick sell those lower overalls. I don't completely understand the gist of it. Let's look at the packs real quick. Let's look at the packs. They look great. They look fantastic. I'm sure they look huge. Make a pack. 40 pluses, 15 gold players. So you're still getting the gold. I think the thing is, the NHL players aren't guaranteed. That's what I'm kind of come up with here. Is the NHL players below 79 overall, 79 below, they're not always NHLers. They have all them AHLers as well. So when you pump those cards into packs, they're just a little bit more rare, and people still need to complete them team building sets, and they're still paying a pretty penny for them. So I like both areas there. We're still avoiding all the AHL guys. Hey, we make some sales. I think we had 25 before. Good for us. Go team. Yeah, 2 pats in the back. Let's talk collectibles. Collectibles are still something you can really profit in here. They're floating around, 22 to 24K. I think we sold a couple for 23 Friday, because I think it was Thursday. Why was it Thursday where it was expensive? That was when packs came out. Maybe it was like a Tuesday. But their point is they do dry up and they do flood the market back and forth, just like collectibles have every year. And when they're flooding the market and people ripping packs, you can pick them up for 18, 17 to 19K and go out and sell them for 22 to 24. So that's good. Again, a good 3, 4, 5K profit in the collectible range, maybe better. I don't think they go anywhere the rest of the year. If you guys remember when we first talked about it, they was going for 14K, they was going for 15K. It's like, scoop them up. Scoop them up if you can get them and just hold on to them. They went up 8K. The second people had a reason to use them. Now I think you're consistent here though, because of the fact that, you want to use a power up collectible, or you can use 20,000 coins. A power up collectible 15K, power up collectible 25K when it comes to upgrading the X Factor. So I think they're right around this range for the majority of the year, unless EA does something crazy here that messes with the values. Kind of like X Factors. We'll talk about X Factors because this is where we messed up. I thought, I'm still skeptical. I'm going to say my skepticism, it's ranging around the 10 to 20% chance EA still does something where they release like a pack that guarantees a, tradable X Factor or something that could flood the market and drop the prices. Because I really don't believe that they wanted them to be this expensive this year. You can tell by the sets and how cheap the sets are. But they might be at this point in time saying, well, everything's already developed around these prices. We kind of have to leave it there. That's why we've seen the sets last week. The 87s, 86s. It was cheap. It was really cheap to do. But I think that was, again, EA was figuring, well, you're paying more for the gold players because the X Factors are going to be worth nothing. Gold players are worth whatever. That stuff goes down the road. And it kicks the value up a little bit. I don't know. It seems like there was a slight miscalculation in things this year, and we're just gonna have to adapt to it. But we messed up, right? We messed up on the thinking that these X Factors are gonna crash immediately. I do still think they're a slow trickle down, though, as far as buying them is concerned. Because you have to remember, we have 6 X Factors on our team right now, and we haven't bought a single one. They're all untradeable. Every single one of them, because of all the sets that you have out to do. We're going to have more and more people completing the daily set. What is it? Every 30 days. We already completed ours. More people will be completing theirs as well. We have 22 more days. So in 22 more days, we can do that again. That's another X Factor. The X Factor guaranteed reroll, we can do that in, again, another batch of those coming in 12 days. So every month, everybody's going to be getting 2 free X Factors if they choose to go that route. You talk 8, you got 6 now, you can talk 8, then you got 10, then you got 12. You know, before long, you have an entire team of X Factors. It's not going to mean or make it as worth much to go out and buy them on the auction house. Now, of course, you're going to have people that buy the game in December and January that still want, you know, the X Factors that don't have as many as us because they didn't do the pre-order stuff and everything else. But you also have to keep in mind, by that time, there's going to be a lot more flooding the market. There's going to be a lot more pulled. So I'm still not big on, you know, I'm not looking at it as an X Factor at a Movember, or anything like that, where they go, or an Evo. Gosh dang, that was a long time ago. As cards that automatically upgrade if you weren't around during those times. As far as, you know, when they get overall bumps on their X Factor cards, going to make them worth more. I just don't think that's the case. Because you have to pay the price to get those X Factors, you know, just like the Crosby is not up, I don't think, at all. Victor Hedman's got an upgrade, though, doesn't he? You know, once you get to the upgrade area here, you're talking base Hedman, you're talking 2 power-ups, you're talking 2 power-ups, you're talking 6 power-ups. You get a +3 on Hedman, which is reasonable, but I think that factors into his X Factor player's price here. What else are we going to talk about? There was something important. It was very importante. Oh, yeah, I think it was the sets. I think we have to talk about the sets because we are seeing the 83s again. Well, they're going for a pretty decent price, though, throughout the year. That was where we messed up. We didn't mess up as much in the X Factors. I still think we still, like I said, I still think we see the small decline. But they threw us a curveball this year where now you're actually getting, 10K is way expensive, apparently. I think they're 8K, 9K. Where you're still getting in November now, 8K for an 83 overall. And people are getting 8K for them for one reason, the sets. It's the same for the 84s. They're 20K. The 85s are 25K. The 86s are 50K. Now, 86s, 87s, they typically hold a little bit more value because they are really good cards and everything. But once people start to build their teams up, they don't typically need the 83s, 84s. They start selling them. But because we have sets now that say, hey, let's go ahead and toss in an 86, 4 of them, some 85s, some 85s. That's the alternate set. That's just for the 85 plus. Then you have the 84 plus set. There are people buying these puppies up like crazy. There's all the 83s. So when it comes to the 83 game, it really just depends what EA does with the sets this year. If they stay this consistent price on the sets, I still think we see a slight decline on some of the 83s because, again, the set's 400 or 500K, which is reasonable. I think we're a little bit in no man's land. Being completely honest, I do think right now the good thing you can do with these, I still wouldn't be holding on to 83s, 84s long run or anything, but I would consider flipping them. As in, when a new event comes out compared to, say, 2 or 3 days ago. I know, like the 84s, it was, I want to say it was like Kachuk or something. We had a Kachuk and got it for like 16K, 17K. And I believe he is now sitting closer to an 84K or 20. No, he's 20K right there. Is that the right Kachuk? Right, the Kachuk, 20K, 20K. Let's take a look here. You're going to sound really intelligent now. He's still 20K. Nonetheless, you know, there's a 3K spread there. 4K spread. Because earlier in the week, he was on the second week of the sets. Not as many people were pumping out the set that, you know, the first couple of days that set first drops. Everybody's buying those cards. They want to get done as quickly as possible. Just like gold collectibles last year when gold collectibles were out for, or the set was out for about a week and a half. The gold collectibles would drop down to like 55, 50K. And second that new set came out, they'd go back up to 60K, 65K, 70K. Because people, as soon as that event dropped, said, I got to have those master sets. They would buy. And we're seeing the same exact thing now with the 83s, with the 84s. We're seeing the 84s for the most part right around the 20K range, I think. Honestly, I think I like the 83 area even better because they're a little bit cheaper. They do drop during the week. That was another one. I know we've seen Sagan. He was like 5K. 5K when we thought about selling one day. I was like, dang, like 9K the other day. But now you can see filtered by 8K, and there is nothing below 8K. Because it's Saturday morning, the day after the sets are released. Halloween set again, I think it's out for a week. Typically sets out for 2 weeks. When they're out for 2 weeks, you know, that second week, you really start to see the 83s, the 84s dip. Just keep an eye on the prices right now. You know, this is a perfect way to look at it. Right now is an 8K player. So I would expect in a week and a half, you might be able to pick them for 6K, 5,500. That's a good 2.5K, 2K profit. Can't beat it. Just hold on to it for, you know, 2-3 days. Have them up on the Friday. You do the same with the 84s. You do the same with the 85s. There is a time or year, I think, where there's money to be made across the board on the auction house. I really think it's this year. There's collectibles. There's the 80 pluses. There's the 79 and belows. There's the 83s, the 84s, the 85s, the 86s. And then you top that all on with your typical 59-minute marking stuff where people just put up steals, or where you have the 59-minute marking just in general when, you know, prices fluctuate, or prices will go down 500, 600, 700 coins just because there's a million in the market compared to when things dry up, which is still the story of all stories, where things dry up. I think when it's the 83s, the 84s, the 85s, you look to sell them on a Friday night, Saturday morning, whatever. And when it comes to the 82 and belows, you're looking to sell them closer to, you know, a Sunday, second week of the set, first week of the set, whatever, Sunday, when there's not as many packs being ripped because the Rivals rewards ain't come out yet, the Hut Champs rewards ain't come out yet, the Squad Battles rewards ain't come out yet. Typically that Sunday, Monday morning area, you get the best price for those. I will say this though, I think the prices are more tied to sets right now, just to throw it out there. The prices of these 86s, 87s are more tied to sets than they are their X Factor player item. Now, of course, you got guys like McCarr, the really big names, whose X Factors that people really want. Their price is going to be a little bit more, and their base cards are going to be a little bit more because they're good. But there's going to be other players that are just kind of middle of the pack, average card-wise. Still good players in real life, but average card-wise, where the desire is not as high for them. And I think, again, you can see their X Factor, you know, player base cards trickle down a little bit, where they don't have to necessarily go for, say, what is it, about 40K or something for their guaranteed, you know, the trade in their base player. Roman Yossi has new tier for Roman Yossi. Congrats. Roman Yossi, 83K, 83 overall, 20K. You know, it's one of those things. I don't think you guarantee him 20K, 15K. You don't guarantee his price to be higher. There's enough on the marketplace now. There's enough people completing these sets where that's not going to equate as much there. So try not to look too much into the coins versus player value thing and try to, oh, I'm going to buy a bunch of 83 Roman Yossis. He's got to go for 20K eventually. Like, that's not more than likely going to happen there. So try to be mindful of that. Look at Roman Yossi. He was an 83 overall. I thought he was a higher overall than now. When did that happen? Nonetheless, I hope you guys found this video helpful. As always, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.